before I amplify what you're going to do. So today and tomorrow are compound inequalities. Wednesday and Thursday are absolute value inequalities, and then I'm going to put them together on Friday. Next Monday and Tuesday are graphing linear inequalities. Wednesday and Thursday is a review, and Friday is a test. I'll show you here. I have it actually on this here. So next Friday, this one's next Friday, the 17th, you have a test. That will be your last points for this quarter. When you return from winter break, you will have 7 school days to study for your semester test. And on January 12th, Wednesday, January 12th, you guys will take your semester test 7th and 8th hour. So I will remind you when it gets closer. As soon as lunch is over, you will report to me. You will miss 7th period. Okay? So I will tell, you'll be responsible for that class to be able to make that stuff up. But I'll remind you when it gets closer. I haven't even told the teachers because most of them, that's after winter break, and they don't even have that plan that far, so they don't really care, to be perfectly honest. You get 90 minutes to complete it. Okay? So you'll get all of 7th and all of 8th hour to complete that. Okay? All right. In the past, it's been 30 to 40. I haven't written it yet. We haven't written it yet. Mrs. Hoosier and I sat down, and I think we're going to write it on Friday. Yep. You'll have seen every problem. It's on Alex.
It's on Alex.
It's on Alex.
Oh, that makes sense. We have to show her.
Yeah, like it'll look like a piece of paper, just like this. Just 40 problems or 30 problems.
I thought.
Yeah, just like you always are.
I thought it was like.
I will not make you have any amount of problems that you can't do in 2 class periods. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have time. If you've studied, you'll have time. Okay? All right. So compound inequalities. Compound inequalities involve the word and or, and I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I forgot to print. I didn't print the right notes. So we're going to have to take some notes up at the top. And, whoops, if I can spell and correctly. The word and, both must be true. In order for that to be a true statement, if it says and, both of them have to be true. If you have the word or, only one needs to be true. Only one needs to be true. So an and statement would be, which math teacher, Hoosier, Hoff, or Weiss, has been teaching the longest and been at BVMS the longest? Hoff. Okay. In the entire math department, which math teacher has been? Nope, I won't say that because that's not true. Okay, so an or statement. Which of your red team teachers, so Schilf, Bisbee, Barat, Skibstead, and Hoff, which teacher has been teaching the longest or teaches math? You could say me. Why? Because I teach math. I have not been teaching the longest at BVMS. Bisbee has been at BVMS the longest out of all of us. Okay? So if you do it, just remember, and both of them have to be true, or only one of them has to be true. So with this, we're going to write inequalities. Or statements, you're going to literally see the word or. And statements, we're going to write as one inequality, and they're going to have 2 symbols. So it says, write the following as an inequality. W is less than 9 and greater than 5. So this is what I do. Which number is your smallest? 5. So that would be just like on a number line to the left, correct? And 9 would be to the right. W is less than 9 and greater than 5. Everybody agree W falls in the middle of those two? Everybody agree with that? Okay. Now, if I cover up 9, I need to put a symbol in here that tells me W is W is less than 9. So I put a less than symbol in here, yes? And then over here, W is greater than 5. It is a less than sign. W could be 6, 7, or 8. Notice it says use W only once in your inequality. I'm going to give you a hint. You should have less than or less than or equal to signs if written correctly on these and statements. If you end up with greater than symbols, something is incorrect. Either you've put the numbers in the wrong order, you've solved it incorrectly, you miscalculated, you forgot to flip your sign, something along those sorts. This one, that's a great question. This one has to be written like so. You can't write 9 is greater than W, which is greater than 5. Good question. Okay, so how do you solve these? When an inequality is written as one inequality, we know it's an and statement. It's written as one inequality with two symbols in it. That middle piece is shared. So split this inequality. Here's 1. Negative 17 is less than 4x minus 1. Then Ms. Hoff writes the word and, so she doesn't forget it's an and statement. 4x minus 1 is less than negative 1. Does everybody see what I did there? That middle piece is doubled. 4x minus 1, you need to write that with your inequality with negative 17 and then also with negative 1. Now solve these like you have been. On the left, what should I do? Add 1. I end up with, then, I don't have to flip my inequality. Very good. And then I have the word and. Now I go to the other one. What do I do here? Add 1 to both sides. I end up with
Unsolvable. Any solution? No solution. All solutions.
no, just do your next thing.
Oh.
Divide by 4. X is less than 0. Zero's a number. Zero's a solution. The only time you say no real numbers or all real numbers is if your variable canceled. Your variable didn't cancel here. You're just saying it's less than 0. Now, to write this answer, though, I have to put this back together. And the reason I wrote this is because look at it. Can you easily squish this back together? Okay, so negative 4 is less than x, which is less than 0. Negative 4, which is less than x, which is less than 0. Now, we have to graph this. Don't get lazy on this. I'm going to graph just negative 4 is less than x. Okay? What's my important number on my number line? Negative 4. Open or closed? And do I shade to the left or the right? Does it matter which way the arrow's pointing? No. Negative 4 is less than x. We said the alligator jaws eat the bigger number. So x is greater than negative 4. Which side is the greater side of negative 4? The right. This is where I told you, don't go off the way it's pointing. Now, I'm going to make another number line for the other part of ours. What's the other important number on our other half? 0. Open or closed at 0? Left or right? Are we sure? But the other one was less than.
I know, but it shows that 0 is greater than X is on the right side of the last one, X is on the left side of this one.
Okay, so do I shade left or right?
Left.
Left. Now, we have to put these two together. So, on my number line, I'm really going to have two important numbers. What are they? -4 and 0. Now, if I would smash these two number lines together, I am looking where both statements are true. In between them, Mason says. Do you guys agree or disagree? Agree. If I smash, the only place that both shadings would overlap are between -4 and 0?
Yes.
Open or closed at -4 and 0? Open. So your final graph will just show this. You are only, in your final shading, only showing me where they're both true because it's an and statement. Okay? What's the next one say? What's different about it? It's an or. So this time we just need to solve the two inequalities separately. On the left, what should I do? Subtract 2. You end up with, then? On the other half, -1. You end up with 3x is less than or equal to -3. Then, divide by 3. X is, do I need to flip my inequality? Sure. Okay. In here, I need to write the word or. Ors do not get pushed together. Ors do not get pushed together. Okay? In an or statement, only one has to be true. We're going to do the same thing as we just did, though, and make 3 number lines. On the first number line, what's my important number? X is less than or equal to 4. Open or closed? Closed. Left or right? Right. It's greater than. Okay? On the other half, what's my important number? -1. Open or closed? Left or right? Left. Now, on an or, only one of them has to be true. So in your final deal, you just need to shade anywhere that's shaded, whether it doesn't have to be overlapped. So I have -1 and 4. Where am I going to shade? On the outsides. I call them the wings. Does that make sense? Your wings. 97, note, not 99, 97% of the time, your or statements are the wings, your and statements are the chunk in between. Question? Because, yes. Okay. Flip it over. Draw this number line for yourself. Write me a compound inequality to represent the graph that I have given you. Write me the answer that you would have calculated in order to get that graph. Who's willing to give me their answer? Mason?
I said x is greater than 3 and x is less than 7.
Thoughts? That is incorrect. Morgan?
I have 3 is less than x, and x is less than or equal to 7.
I would take that. Okay? The only thing that's technically wrong with Mason's is what?
I forgot the greater than
His
or equal.
is equal to. Now, truthfully, on an and statement, I don't want you to write it as with the word and. I really do want you to put it together. Okay? Here's another one. Somebody else who's got this one. Alyssa.
X is less than or equal to -1 or x is greater than
Thoughts? You don't agree with her? Okay. Go ahead.
I had -1 is less than or equal to x.
I did the same thing as you. We mixed up the dots.
Greater than 7. No, I didn't. No, we did. Greater than 7. Yes, that is what I had.
That would be an and statement. Or statements are not written as one. Remember what Miss Hoff gave you the hint of. The less than or equal to signs, they're both that if it's written correctly. Or statements have the word or in them. Or statements have the word or in them. Question.
If I said -1 is greater than or equal to x, or 7 is less than, that's correct.
That is 100% still correct. Because your inequality symbols are still, I always say, eating the correct number. Yep. Or statements, only one has to be true. So any place is shaded, you keep it. And statements have to be where they overlap. 97% of the time, and is in between, or is on the wings. Grab paper. You have an online assignment. Due at 8 a.m. tomorrow.